Hey everybody, my name is Jenny Lacey and I am an independent Teen Beachbody coach. I want to welcome you to my kitchen and I'm going to go through a little bit of my meal prep and my plan, and I have 5 major tips that I want to share with you as we go along. So a lot of people will talk about, what is harder, whether it's the fitness or it's the nutrition. And a lot of people say that the nutrition is what's really hard to figure out. Drink coffee, don't drink coffee. Drink red wine, don't drink red wine. This food's going to give you cancer, this food's going to not give you cancer, it's going to prevent it. So there's a lot of confusion out there. And my disclaimer here is that I am not a nutritionist and I do not have a degree, but I do have a lot of experience. So the things that I'm going to share with you and the things that I'm going to show you are just things that I have learned along the way. I'm talking about the 21-day fix because prior to me using the 21-day fix, I don't think that I really understood portions. Like they can say, yeah, okay, so a thing of meat, a portion of meat should be like a deck of cards. Well, that's okay in theory, but when you take a look and actually pay attention to what you're eating, it's a little bit harder to understand that. So going through the 21-day fix and the process of counting the containers and planning out the containers really made a big difference and made a bigger impact for me. So hold on, just one second. There we go. Okay, so all right. Now, I have calculated with my containers, and I'm going to probably kind of move the camera over to kind of show you some things. But so I have my containers, and what I will do with my containers, like I have on mine, so my red allowance is I can have 4 containers of the protein in one day. So basically what I do is I kind of try to build my food for the week based on my calculations. Now, if you have a 21-day fix and you're trying to figure out where you can eat and when you can eat and just getting through all that meal planning and you need help, just reach out to me and let me know. And then I can kind of show you some tricks of the trade. There's lots of planning sheets that you can take a look at on Pinterest. There are Excel sheets, so it just kind of depends. The other cool thing, too, I want to show you on, there is an app that I will use. Right here, I don't know if you can see that very well. It's the 21-day fitness tracker. Whoops. So let me pull it back just a little bit, see if you can, I don't know if you can't see that very well. Maybe it's the glare from the lights. But, okay, so on here, the really cool thing is if you download this, and this is a free app, so you go to the containers and you say, okay, here's the green container. This gives you all of the stuff that you can have with that green container. Now, let's say if I go 21-day fix right here and I go week 1, it automatically has a formula set up for me, okay? I can alter this based on my goals, my weight, and see, so I can track it that way. So if I'm not a paper pencil type of person and I'm not somebody who wants to use an Excel sheet or something like that, then I can use that app right there, which I do use. So I want to move you over this way because I'm boiling some eggs. Now, boiling eggs, and this is not one of my tips, but boiling eggs, when I do these, I do them about, I would say about 16 or 18 at a time, okay? Having a boiled egg, and you can have 2 for 1 serving with the red container, because you can fit 2 boiled eggs in a red container. So basically, when I boil the eggs, first of all, it's a cheap way to fuel my body, and we need that protein. So when I'm boiling the eggs, having a lot of them on hand is really pretty important to me. If you don't have a plan, now plan number, I just broke one. Having a plan is first and foremost. That's my number 1 tip. Let's say you're going for a ride. Like this morning I was talking to somebody and we were talking about taking a trip to Florida. Let's say you've never been to Florida, but you read all of the pamphlets and all of the tourist stuff, and you want to go to Florida. You're driving there, and you get in the car. You won't get in a car without a GPS or some kind of direction, some kind of roadmap that will tell you where you need to go, right? Well, the 21-day fix and any other meal plan or meal prep is going to be more successful for you if you have some kind of roadmap or have some kind of direction. If you don't have a plan, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Having a plan will ensure that you are more successful. Okay? So a lot of things that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to try to move this here and just kind of move it down so that you can kind of see a little bit better. But having a plan is first, foremost, most important. Okay? If you don't have a plan, then it's like you're going to be sitting back and wondering, where did my nutrition go? If you don't have a plan for your budget, for your money, then you're going to sit back and you're going to be like, wait a minute, where did all that money go? Like, we have bills we need to pay, but we just spend it on all this other stuff. Same thing for your fitness. Plan out your workouts. Plan out everything that you're going to do, that you're going to say, that you're going to feed your body with. Okay? Now, I have kind of this, so what I do, like if I buy stuff like this, like these raspberries were on sale for 3 packages for $5. So what I'm going to do is just, I will clean these up, I will portion them out, and I will put them in the freezer. So if you take a look at, things like, I have these containers, these are strawberries that I bought last week. And so I could pop these into my NutriBullet for my Shakeology if I want to have a container of purple. Okay, so take advantage of the sales that you'll see at the grocery store. Pineapple chunks is another thing that I bought. It's frozen stuff, so I can just transfer it over, put it into some containers. So like this, if I really want something to add to my Shakeology for my sweetness or whatever, I can just add that. Here's a trick, maybe. Okay, so this is a frozen protein blend, as it says. It has whole grains, lentils, spinach, broccoli, white beans. And it does have a garlic parmesan sauce. Now, I'm not going to be a martyr and tell you you have to go through and look at every single ingredient on this. And even though it says a protein on here, it qualifies as a carb. So basically what I can do is I can use my container for carbs, and I can portion this out. I can, since it's frozen right now, what I'm going to do is I will portion it out and use my containers and then just throw these in the freezer. So like right now I have 1 bag done, so these guys are ready to go in the freezer. So I can be able to set myself up for success because I already have that stuff, and it's not stuff that's got a lot of chemical and got a lot of processed stuff. That would be my another tip. That's tip number 2. Okay, so tip number 1 is to have a plan. Tip number 2 is to get rid of as much chemical and processed food as you can. Now, things like Doritos, okay, they taste great, right? Everybody loves Doritos, but they're so nasty for you. There's so much chemical, there's so much preservatives and processed stuff in there that it's not worth it. If you think about where you're going in your life and you think about what your goals are, having a bag of Doritos isn't going to get you there. I was talking to somebody, it would have been last year. We were actually competing together. It was a bodybuilding competition, and she was a mortician. And she talked to me, and she said, and this was absolutely blowing my mind. She talked about how 20 years ago, dead people, dead bodies, decomposed so much faster than they do now. And I was amazed by that. And so I was asking her why, and she said, because we have so much chemical and so much preservatives in our diet that our bodies, when we die, are not decomposing. I mean, when I thought about that, I was like, Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Like, that's crazy to me. So the next tip that I want to say to you is to think about what you're fueling your body with, and to think about, okay, so am I going to eat this junk food? Am I going to eat this, whatever it is? Is that going to fuel an emotion, or is it going to fuel my body for my workout? Okay. By that I mean, let's say I'm like, okay, I'm having ice cream. No matter what, today I'm having ice cream. I'm having a bad day, I'm going to have ice cream. And then I think, okay, well, wait a minute. Now I have a workout in a little bit. Is that ice cream, like, yeah, it's going to fuel that emotion. Maybe it's a stress, or maybe I'm sad, or whatever. It's going to fuel that. And I'm not going to say to never eat ice cream, because if I had my way about it, I would eat ice cream every single day because I like ice cream. But it's not going to get me closer to my goals, right? And so think about what it is that you have in front of you, and think about, is this going to get me closer to my goals, or is it going to get me further away? Now, goals, I'm not saying that you need to be a size 2, okay? If you take a look at me, I am not a size 2. But when I fuel my body with all the food I have out here on the table, I feel good. I feel confident. I feel capable, because I know that what's going in my body is natural, and it's healthy. And I want to be healthy because I feel better when I eat healthy. So think about it in terms of whether or not the stuff that you're eating, is it going to fuel an emotion or fuel your body? Now, even though I am doing the 21-day fix, there are days that I have double workouts. There are days that I will work out with my friends after school and then go play hockey at night. Or I'll work out after school and then I'll go teach a class after that. So those days, and I have like, a few of those days back to back in a row, like 3 days in a row that happens. So when I know that I have a really tough workout, I may not necessarily stay true to that 21-day fix. I might add one more carb. Okay, I might add another protein, because I know I need to have enough gas in my tank to be able to teach a class. I just have to have enough endurance and enough stamina. Now, let's say it's an active recovery day. Let's say you are having a rest day. You're maybe not going to have as many heavy carbs, in your day for that particular day. Another tip that I have for you is to slow down. Okay, when we're eating, and I am so guilty of this, I am horrible, because being a teacher, we only have so much time, so we sit down and like, just shoveling it in, right? Well, take a breath and slow down, because when you eat slower, then your body's like, okay, it's coming in, but it's not coming in, it's shoveling in, so that your body has time to process the food that it's taking in. Another tip was that, this is kind of like a side note. When I was working with a trainer, he at one point told me that anything over 500 calories at one sitting, your body cannot process more than 500 calories. So anything more than 500 gets stored as fat automatically. So he was telling me that when I'm taking a look at my food, and this was prior to me being a coach and prior to me having the 21-day fix and all that, that he was talking to me about, when you sit down, like, your meal should be in this range, this range, this range. If you have a snack, it should be in this range. So take a look at that and kind of pay attention to that to see if maybe, that might be tripping you up. If you pay attention to your macros at any point, your fat, your carbs, and your protein, let's say you're trying to build a lot of muscle, then you want to really stay true and stay close to those macros, okay? When I was on a training cycle for my bodybuilding stuff, I was paying a lot more attention to every single thing that went in my body. I've engaged in I guess maybe not engage, but embrace that thinking that no matter what, whatever's going in my body is going to get me closer to my goals or further away from it. Okay? So whether I'm on a training cycle or not, it doesn't really matter. I also know, I want you to also be careful that I am not trying to be a martyr about food. Okay? I would suggest shooting for either 80% of the time being clean and 20% being like a relaxed part, or 90%. 90% of your food in your body at any time should be clean. And then 10%, give yourself some grace. Have a glass of wine, have a glass of beer, you know. You have to live. Like earlier I said, that you are going to be fueling an emotion. Like eating is very emotional. Sometimes you eat because you're sad, sometimes you eat because you're happy. Sometimes it's a birth, sometimes it's a death. You eat at weddings, you eat at funerals. I mean, you eat everywhere. You go to a Super Bowl party, you eat. You go to a Halloween party, you eat. Like that's just a part of something just flew me. Yeah, I'm distracted. So when you eat or drink, yes, you're fueling an emotion, okay? So sometimes you're going to have that drink or that burger, and I get that, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. Like last night, my husband and I, we went out and we had, I did have a beer, and we got a stone pizza, and so I had a couple pieces of the, small little pizza. And you know what? I was satisfied and I felt good. I felt happy. It was a nice date for us. But then this morning, I'm not going to beat myself up because I had a beer and I had some pizza. What I'm going to do is I know that because I've eaten that, like I have enough carbs, I have enough energy that I can do a killer workout, right? So I'm going to be able to have enough in the tank to be able to do that. Okay. Now, if I was on a training cycle for my bodybuilding, the beer and pizza, that would not be even on the table. It's an absolutely no, thank you kind of thing. So, just depending on where you're at with your goals and what you're trying to achieve, kind of be more cognizant of that. I have had people tell me that nutrition, like they just can't figure the nutrition out. And here's a little tough love part of it, okay? If it's important to you, you'll figure out a way, okay? Now, that's the tough love part because I have had to say no to lots of candy, lots of cookies, lots of cupcakes, lots of pastries. Yeah, eating that tastes good. Yeah, but it's not going to get me closer to where I want to go. And it tastes good for a second, but then like after you have it, like, you feel gross because your body doesn't want that much sugar. Your body doesn't need that much sugar. So if you don't feel sick after you're eating some of those things, it's because your body is so used to having all of that sugar. And when you eat all that stuff with all the chemicals and all the preservatives and that kind of stuff, it sends a message to your brain. It makes you happy, okay? It releases a little bit of dopamine. So it says, hey, let's have some more of that kind of thing. Well, exercise and eating good can do the same. So don't beat yourself up, but also don't set yourself up for failure. The last tip that I want to share with you just kind of talks about like thinking, okay, I'm hungry. When you say I'm hungry, are you truly, truly hungry? Or are you bored? Or are you thirsty? Because a lot of people who say that they're hungry are just quite simply dehydrated. They are not drinking enough water. Now, a general guideline is about half of your body weight in ounces, okay? I try to drink about a gallon a day. Some days I do really well, and some days I don't. But it has to be an intentional focus. Everything that I do, whether it's the food I put in my body, the water I drink, the exercising I do, it all has to be planned out. It all has to be intentional. So hopefully this has been beneficial for you, and hopefully it will help you kind of get yourself on the right track. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later.